Hi, everybody. It's Rudy here again with College Planning Experts. Today I have Maya Pham
Yeah.
and we have Victoria Del Rosario. They both play at West Ranch, or they attend West Ranch and they play volleyball there. And both have played a very high level of travel ball, correct?
Yes.
Great. So tell me a little bit about uh, your career in travel ball, where you played. Let's start with you, Victoria, and where you're at
Um,
today.
yeah, I played at Legacy Volleyball Club for I think 6 or 7 years. I started with like the little summer camps and everything and worked my way up to the elite teams. And I mean, it was a good experience, but there was definitely a lot of pressure and a lot of competition. And it was kind of like the older you got, the more and more and more like pressure there was. And it got to a point where I just didn't really enjoy it anymore. I still enjoyed all the people, I still enjoyed actually playing volleyball. But besides that, there was just a lot of things going on underneath that it just wasn't fun anymore.
And how about you, Maya? Where did
Well,
you play and start?
I started the same spot. We were on the same team together for our first year. That's actually how we met. I loved it. I literally fell in love with it. And I think when I got injured completely unrelated to volleyball. It gave me a little bit of a space to think about exactly what volleyball was to me, and when I came back it was something that I didn't it was not the sport I fell in love with. I love the actual sport, but the politics around it, including like the parents and the teammates and the drama and everything, is what made it a completely different environment that I didn't want to associate myself with anymore, and it just wasn't for me anymore.
Awesome. And Victoria, I remember when we sat down, and we spoke about this a little bit ago. Um, you just wanted to go to school like your brother,
Yeah.
right? We helped him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother goes to USC right now and he used to play golf and he actually got a couple of offers to play golf in college. He got an offer at Harvard and he turned it down. And I'm just kind of in the same mind space that he is. He just really wants to focus on his future and focus on his goals. And like even with college planning, he kind of took time away from his sport, away from golf to plan for his future and it ended up working out really well for him.
And you may be going. Both of you guys have a shot of going to USC, huh?
Yes.
So where have you been accepted now? Let's start with Victoria first, and
I've been accepted to Loyola Marymount University, UC Irvine, uh, San Diego, University of San Diego, and Santa Clara.
and Maya, how about you?
I've been accepted to Loyola Marymount University.
So far.
So far, yes.
Yes.
That's my only early action.
There
So,
you go.
yeah.
And tell us about that when what we suggested for you to do internships and how you did it and what you did and the career that you've chosen.
So I knew I wanted to be in the medical field, and I didn't know exactly where I wanted to be. So my mom was trying to find internships here and everything to like get me exposed to it, and then Rudy suggested that we go out of like the country to go do that, and I have the resources to do that because my family is from Egypt. So I did my internship. I did a dental internship for 2 years, and I did that in Egypt, and it's because the laws are way different than they are here. So I was able to experience that, and that's where I fell in love with like orthodontist. Like that's what I want to pursue, and that's exactly like I was able to do so much there. I was able to learn all the techniques. I was able to like help operate. I was able to do everything, and that's what I was looking for.
So you were able to actually experience what you're going to do. So
Yeah.
it solidified the decision that this is what I want to do.
Yeah, I lived the day to day life. The hours was there at opening, I was there during closing, I was there every part in between. I got to live what it would be like to be an orthodontist. And that's
Awesome.
what I loved, yeah.
And your career is where? What's your chosen career path?
I want to go into pharmaceuticals, so I did do some volunteering at Henry Mayo. It wasn't necessarily for like pharmaceuticals and working in a pharmacy, but I was on the floor for a little bit while helping out with I guess like the nurses
Mhm.
just going around checking up on patients and things like that. And then once I got injured, I tore my ACL. I couldn't walk, so I volunteered in the physical therapy offices and just input data and
So you were actually you were there inside the hospital experiencing what it is to help people, and it solidified also that this is what I wanted to do.
yes, I knew I wanted to be in the medical field from a really young age. I just didn't know necessarily where.
Got it.
Yeah.
And what your mom, there was a point where you guys were stuck on community service, and we know that community service is really important.
Yeah.
And what happened? Can you tell us like what happened and how you got this last community service hours in?
Yeah. So a lot of my community service hours I got from a Taekwondo studio I used to train at, which Rudy actually suggested to my mom because my mom was like, I don't know where to go. They won't accept her anywhere. She's allergic to animals. She can't volunteer at an animal shelter, and just there's too many restrictions. And Rudy suggested, why don't you go to your old Taekwondo studio? They'll probably love to have you. And I ended up volunteering there for quite a while, actually.
So I know you guys can't see me, but I just have to let you know that Victoria's here was a super stud at Taekwondo. She was like a black belt at 5 years old, something like that. She was in the signal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, was it 5 years old or 6 years old? How
I
old
was
were you?
8. Or actually, I was 7 when I got my black belt, and I won a couple world championships when I was.
Yeah, like I said, she was a stud. So tell us a little bit about your feelings of why you continued to play volleyball at West Ranch, although you knew you were done and trying to get into school by that means of travel and so forth. Why did you stay playing volleyball?
I think travel ball is very different than high school volleyball. I think travel ball, there's so much more pressure. The schedule is insane. You pretty much practice every day if you want to be the top, and you do that. Then you do privates on top of that, and then you're waking up at 4 a.m. on Sundays to go to the game, and then you have to come back, and you don't know how long they're gonna last. And it was just such a big toll on us. So we decided that we were gonna stay in only high school, and we loved playing high school, and we didn't want to quit the sport because both of us aren't the type to just quit something. We saw that it was a good place because we were with all of our friends, and yeah, there was still drama and everything, but it was a place that we could, still play the sport, and it was a minimal amount of drama because you can't really get scholarships, or there's the pressure's not the same as it is in travel ball.
And Victoria, when did you decide to make that switch? What was it that said, you know what, I don't want to do this? What was that time? How was that feeling and breaking the news to your mom and dad? Because I know that was tough.
I think it happened in about sophomore year when I really decided that I was just kind of done, because my schedule week to week, I would have practice Mondays and Wednesdays, I would condition Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I would have private on Fridays, and then tournaments on Saturdays. So I really didn't have a life, and like my body was starting to hurt, my back was really starting to hurt, and I did keep up with school, but I was so tired all the time. You can ask Maya, I was always falling asleep in class because I was just so exhausted. And the politics started getting really, really intense because everyone was trying to get recruited and everybody wanted to play in college, and I just realized I didn't want that for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see that in my future. And so I told my parents, and at first they were like, well, we've spent all this money, like, why don't you just keep on going with it? You've spent all the time, you put in all the effort, you're good enough to play in college. And I told them, yes, but I'm good enough for a D2 college or a D3 college. I'm not good enough. Me physically in volleyball is not the same as me in my brain. Like, I know I'm smart enough to go to a better school than I am to go and play volleyball.
And you're going to LMU so far, and all those other schools you mentioned. And perhaps you'll both be going to USC together.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit, and we'll start with you, Maya, about our fantastic counselor, Irene. Tell me, how did college, and tell us how college planning experts helped you as well.
I was actually terrified the first time I walked in because I was like, I don't know like what to expect or anything. But as soon as I walked in, it was so friendly. I was able to tell them everything, and I think the best part about college planning is that they're very straight up with you. They will tell you, oh yes, that's going to be a reach school for you. That's going to be a safety school. That's going to be whatever school, and that's like I don't really like, I think Victoria and I can like both say this, is that we don't really like that people are like, oh yeah, you'll get in, or yeah, you'll do this, or whatever, because that's how we've been babied our entire life, even with volleyball. And I think that they told me straight up, this is how we're going to do it, and this is what's going to happen, and it made me feel so much better about my accomplishments, and made me feel so much better about the answers that I'm going to get, the answers I might not get, and I think it just gave me relief and also confidence in what the application process was all about.
How do you feel? I mean, I know she's like took everything
Yeah.
from you right there. Jeez, Maya.
Yeah.
All right, next time you guys come in, Maya, you got to stay home.
I know.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
So tell us about Irene and your experience. And you've probably had some experience with some of the other counselors with Jason. I'm not sure if Jason had Irene or not. I don't remember, but we do have good counselors, and you were able to experience that. You had Irene, so how was that with her?
Yes, Irene was really helpful because, like I said, when I first kind of started college planning, I had a really hectic schedule with volleyball and just life in general. And having a specific set guideline and deadlines of when to do things and how to do them was really helpful. And just having her kind of, like Maya said, kind of bring us back down to earth, because when you're even somewhat smart in school, your teachers are like, oh, you're going to do big things, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to get into this college. But that's not the truth for everyone. And I'm really glad that they kind of told us and prepared us, like, sometimes you can do everything right and still not get into your dream school, and that's okay.
Yes, it is. And she helped you with essays, both of you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Corrected them, right?
Yeah.
How about SATs, ACTs, making sure you guys did all that,
Oh,
the
yeah.
applications?
And like also, I think the biggest thing for both of us was I think maybe last semester, maybe in like November, October, we were completely done. Maybe essays, everything, SAT, everything sent, everything submitted, everything whatever. And we're talking to our friends, even people in class, and they're like, oh, I haven't even started the essay.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't even done this.
There's so much anxiety if you don't start early, and like college planning kind of forces you to start early.
And that's what you need, is because the schedule of finishing it and doing it, because the hardest part is just to start it. And I think as soon as we got that ball rolling, everything else was easy and smooth sailing from there.
I always tell clients and students all the time that you don't know what you don't know,
Right.
right? Is that what basically what you
Yeah.
I would have been completely lost.
Yeah.
Like, looking at the application, I was like, oh my god, this is so much to do.
Because there's so many different ways you can answer the question, and there's so many different things that you can put in there. And I think that Irene especially outlined everything, and she looked at the whole me, and she picked at each piece that I think every college would love to know about me, and that they needed to know about me in order to accept me. So.
All right, so we're going to end with a couple of questions that I have, and with travel ball,
Okay.
and then also with telling the parents why it's important for both of them, for their child to really think hard about travel ball and also about college planning. So which one do you want to take, Victoria? The travel ball? You want to be
Travel ball.
first? Okay,
Yeah.
you do travel ball.
Well, because I wanted to say this, I don't think people know, but Victoria and I, when we were younger, we thought we were going to make it to the big leagues. The first time, we were like, yep, we're going to UCLA, we're going to play volleyball, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I think for the longest time, our parents were like, yeah, you're going to do that, you're going to do this. And then they were in it too. I'm not going to lie, our parents were like, yeah, my kid's getting privates, my kid's doing this, whatever. And then things change. And the thing is that we are not D1 ready. We are not like that. And I think the parents need to know that they have to be real with the kids, and you have to realize that your kid is you know, 9 out of 10 of you guys are not going to make it to D1, and that's okay, because that's just not your path, you know? We have one of our best friends, Allison. She is a stud, and she has been a stud her entire life, and she deserves to go D1, and we are nowhere near that level. But I think parents need to be more real with the kids and saying that, you know, you might not make it, or this is for, you know, your extracurriculars for college, and this is for, you know, to keep in shape and to have friends and to make friends. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Awesome. And why do you think parents and students should do college planning?
Well, I just think, like I said, it's just really like guidance, because you're still doing the work. It's not like you guys are taking it and typing out our essays. Like, it's still us. It's still our words and our thoughts and everything. It's just having kind of like a schedule and just having someone say, hey, like, this is the basic idea of what you need to do. Here you go. I'll look over it whenever you're done. And it's just really help and guidance. And that's pretty much what you need in the whole process, because applying to colleges is scary. Like, I'm going to be honest, it's still scary. But it definitely makes it a lot easier. It takes a lot of the pressure off, because there's still things you have to deal with other than applying to colleges. Like, we both have jobs. Mm-hmm. We did play volleyball in high school, and then just staying in shape, having a social life, school, homework, everything. It all just adds up. And having one thing kind of relieved off of your shoulders helps a lot.
And
awesome.
Yeah, there's so many questions too that, like, you look on the internet, somebody says this, somebody says that, that's what you're supposed to write, this is not what you're supposed to do, you have to do this extracurricular. And I think that you guys, like, answer every question, each one that is thrown at you, in a way that we know exactly what we need to do in order to get into the colleges we want.
So you're getting the actual real information
exactly.
instead of
and
online.
And we're not Googling it and
right.
like, this is what, you know,
because
said.
everyone's different.
Exactly.
Like, not everyone gets the same advice.
Yeah,
right.
And I think that also, like, people need to know that, like, colleges, when you get rejected, it's not just because of your grades or whatever. It might just be because you don't fit in there, and they don't want you to be in a place you don't fit in. And that's a big thing. Like, your essays show who you are, and you might not fit into UCLA, but you'll fit into USC or vice versa. And I think that's a big thing too.
That's awesome, ladies. I'm really happy for you guys. I can't wait to, you know, congratulate you and watch you go through, continue on to your journey. It's going to be so awesome. So I'm really proud of you guys. I did not have the opportunity to work with you guys as much, and the only reason why was because you guys were just perfect.
Thank you.
When you're perfect, although you had a lot of work to do,
yeah.
You didn't have to come in here and get the worst of me. So
No.
awesome. All right, guys, congratulations, and thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.